Jason Lee Scott, the original Red Ranger. You may know him as the first leader of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and later on to be the Gold Zeo Ranger. But do you actually know the full history of the character? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here and welcome back to the video, and today we're talking about Jason Lee Scott, the first ever Red Ranger and the first ever leader in Power Rangers, seen in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and we're going to talk about his character history in that show, in the comic books, in Zeo, in Turbo, and beyond. And I'm so excited, there's so many little details, and I can't wait to get to it with all of you. So for 1,500 likes, I'll do more videos just like this one. We'll do more character videos, go in depth, leave a comment down below on which character you want me to talk about next. And if you haven't subscribed and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any single one of my videos, why haven't you done so? Join the E Squad today. A small percentage of you is actually subscribed, so subscribe today, join the E Squad. More Power Ranger videos on the way. So let's begin. Jason Lee Scott. He was one of the original 5 teenagers with attitude chosen by Zordon to be the first ever team of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. While doing all that, he teaches martial arts at the Juice Bar, while also being a student at Angel Grove High. Literally living the best of both worlds. Kind of like Hannah Montana, if you want to describe it like that. Weird comparison, I know. As a Ranger though, he became a natural born leader, as the Red Ranger of the Mighty Morphin team. And as the Red Ranger and the leader, he was the one of the team that never gave up, always trying to figure out a way to solve a problem, which also made it his biggest weakness. If you want to know more about the history and the different types of strongest Red Rangers, I recommend you go check out that video. I talked all about that. In this era, he was living the great life of a high school student while also being a Power Ranger. Himself, along with the other Rangers, were involved in food fairs, carnivals, dances, insect collecting, planting trees in the park, buying a time capsule, acting in school plays, and finding stray animals a home. How do they have time to do all this while saving the world? Does anybody have an answer? But that's not all. Jason also plays sports. He plays volleyball, football, basketball, mountain biking, broomball, and scuba. I don't even know what broomball is. When Tommy came along, things really turned upside down for the whole team though. Their biggest enemy was a Ranger themselves, and in this time, his role as a leader would be tested, including an intense battle with Goldar that we would see many times in the show. The outcome wasn't looking good, but Jason didn't give up, and he would later save Tommy, gaining a new friend. But with him being the leader and Jason being the Green Ranger, they would kind of compete and try to one-up each other constantly. But they learned that being a team was actually important, so they became really good friends. And Jason would later take Tommy's powers after going to the Dark Dimension and fighting Goldar to stop the Green Candle. But with Lord Zedd's arrival into the scene, Jason would replace his Tyrannosaurus Dinozord with the Tyrannosaurus with Dragon Thunderzord power. I love saying that, it's always nice to say. But they would also lose Tommy's powers for good, and Jason would feel guilty, thinking that he had something to do with it and that he probably could have done more to save Tommy and his Green Ranger powers. But that didn't stop him from saving his friends either when he wasn't in the right mental space. Because that's what a leader does, tries to push that all aside and focus on the main objective, and Jason did a pretty good job at that. But Tommy would later return as the White Ranger, and the original team of 6 has returned once more. But that wouldn't last long. As you may know, Jason, Zach, and Trini were all chosen to go to a peace conference in Switzerland. Why? Probably because of all the stuff that Jason was doing in high school. Zordon would allow him to leave, and Jason would help the Rangers pass on his powers to the new team of Rangers, including Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. So some of you may thought that Jason's story has ended there until obviously he came back in Zeo, but actually that's not true. As in the Power Rangers comics, the Peace Conference was merely just a cover story so that Jason along with Zach and Trini could head into space under the direction of the Blue Morphin Emissary who gave them brand new powers. So alongside with their new alien friend Kia, they gained the powers of the elements, including fire, earth, air, and water to become the Omega Rangers. And each of them was chosen for a reason, with Jason being considered by the emissary as dauntless and resourceful. These guys also has their own Zord and such a long backstory which I get into its own video about the Omega Rangers, go check it out. But when it comes to Jason, he would later return in Power Ranger Zeo as the Gold Ranger. He would take on the powers after Trey of Triforia could not control the powers and Billy not being able to receive the powers. From Red Ranger to Gold Ranger, and his old teammate Tommy was now the leader of the team. Jason would go on to help the Rangers in many battles, especially one where Tommy would think he's like the leader of the Machine Empire. That was a good episode of Zeo. However, Jason couldn't be the Gold Ranger forever, as the powers were made with Triforian bodies in mind, not human. So basically, if Trey didn't return to normal and take on the powers of the Gold Ranger, Jason would be destroyed. Basically that. His body just gone. So with his life force at risk, Jason would go on ending his time as the Gold Ranger and give the powers back to the original owner. And he was a little sad, you know, he wasn't a Power Ranger again even though he just got back in the game. But Jason realized that there's more to life than being a Power Ranger and saving the world. He would go on and spend his time focusing on love with a new person, Emily, which we don't see again after that finale. Power Rangers. However, Jason wasn't gone for long as he returns in Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, with his old teammate actually, Kimberly, as they went scuba diving together, because that's what you do when you're about to graduate high school, you go scuba diving. I feel like I've been missing out on all the pleasures of life. They would be captured by Divatox and end up in captivity alongside Bulk and Skull to their surprise. And they would also try to escape, but it didn't work, because you know, the evil villains gotta have their way, you know? It's a movie also. They were taken to an island, and they were tied up and submerged into lava. But instead of dying, they would turn evil, because that's sometimes lava doesn't kill you, makes you evil. Why haven't I jumped in lava, huh? Bad joke. The good would be sucked out of them, and they would be forced to fight the Turbo Rangers, their old teammates. That was until that little guy, Larigo, actually saved them, as Larigo was able to remove the evil possession from both Kimberly and Jason, and they watched the Turbo Rangers defeat Malagor. And later on, Jason would replace Rocky, ironically, right? In a martial arts charity competition. As you know, Rocky got injured in that movie, which stopped him from being the Blue Ranger. Weird stuff. Jason is better than Rocky though. Common sense. In the year 2002, nearly 10 years after becoming the first ever Red Ranger, he would reunite with other legendary Red Rangers in Power Rangers Wild Force. He would team up with them to fight General Vengeance and the remnants of the Machine Empire. And Jason at this point was inactive for many years now, but he had been contacted by Tommy Oliver to come back for the special mission. And even if Tommy was a little bit hesitant on if Jason would actually show up, he did in his little Harley Davidson motorcycle. Was like, "You can't do this without the original Red Ranger, right?" That was a pretty good Jason impression. That's off to me. And with his knowledge on Serpentera, it would have really helped in this battle. And even after 10 years, he still had it in his acrobatics and his martial arts skill to take down the villains. And he would later lead the Red Rangers into morphing, and would later team up with Cole Evans, the Red Wild Force Ranger. And he was truly impressed by the newbie's skill, because you know, Jason's old at this point. He's somebody's parent, probably. At the end of the fight, he would joke about how he was doing all the work while Tommy was out dating Kimberly. This is what happens, yo. And Tommy was probably taking all the credit too of saving the day, but Tommy's like, "I got a date. Jason, can you summon the Megazord and fight that thing for me?" He's like, "Okay, Tommy, I got you." I gotta stop with this Jason impression. Jason would later return in 2014's Power Rangers Super Megaforce, not like in person, only in suit though, leading the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to fight alongside the legendary Rangers and fellow teammate Tommy Oliver and the new team, the Megaforce Rangers, to defeat the Armada for good, fighting a lot of X-Borgs and Bruisers along the way. But hey, shout to that. That cliff scene though, even if you hate Legendary Battle, that cliff scene was cool, not gonna lie. But hey, during 2020's Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Jason will return once again, actually in person. Jason will be called upon by Red Ranger Devin to help the Beast Morphers and the Dino Charge Rangers defeat Evox's army of villains, including a new Goldar Maximus. With his Tyrannus power coin back and recharged, he would summon his fellow Mighty Morphin Rangers and the Dino Thunder Rangers to defeat the bad guys, later summoning the Dino Megazord into battle. With all the Dino Megazords there, it was definitely a huge mecha battle. The last we saw of Jason was him thanking the Beast Morphers Rangers, saying how proud he was and how far the history of the Power Rangers has become, and how there will always be Rangers to save the day. So, what do you think of Jason? Was he a good leader of the Power Rangers? What was your favorite Jason moment in the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time for a brand new video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, TheDonFuego. I'm also on Instagram, NotDonFuego. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. I'm Este. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.